She's still laughing.
That's so funny. Welcome to 5 Lemons Left. We're the real stuff, the lemons making lemonade. So pucker up because we're going to be discussing our life's lessons and the nitty-gritty details of our spiritual journeys.
Hey y'all, I'm Amanda.
And I'm Drusilla.
I'm Melissa.
Hello, this is Morgan.
And I'm Penny. Welcome to our podcast today. Spread them apart.
Oh, welcome to another episode of 5 Lemons Laughing. Today we're talking about fun, and Drusilla is, speaking of fun, Drusilla is away in Greece having fun. So we're thinking about you. Send us some of that fun energy, Drusilla.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be talking about what fills you up, what brings you peace, how do you find your fun? Kind of fun is a spiritual practice. And I'm going to start us off today because this has been on my mind because I was going through just some blah, blah, blah. And, when we decided that fun was going to be our topic for this week, I really focused on it. And what I have noticed that not having fun, like being in the blahs, I don't like it very much. Not that anybody does, but who does, right? But really trying to have fun and thinking about it. So riding my horse, riding river is really fun. And it is fun in I'm not laughing and doing all kinds of stuff, but it's a fun that brings me peace. And when I'm done, I feel really peaceful. So that is something I really enjoy doing. I got my garden started. So in the mornings, I enjoy going out and watering my stuff because I just got them in, and watching them grow is fun. And also, I feel like dirty even saying it, right?
The gardening part, right?
Yes. I've just come to wrap my arms around that. I like watching TV and it's fun,
Oh. Oh my gosh, I can relate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's fun for me. And that's what I enjoy doing. Just gives me peace. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like fun, Amanda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also focusing on it, focusing on having fun and just letting go of all the stuff that's shooting on myself because I was feeling stuck, energy stuck. And I was compounding it because I was focusing on what I should be doing instead of what I was doing, and just starting to enjoy myself. It got that stuck energy moving so I could do some of the things that, life requires.
Mm-hmm.
And some of our friends on Memorial Day called and took us out to lunch, and we went for a drive, and that was just really neat. So I feel like I was open to enjoying time with friends and doing stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
So what about you guys? What brings you fun?
Well, I just wanted to talk a little bit about should, because I recently I had a document that I was waiting for from a group of people. They had done a thought force. Okay, we'll just call it a thought force. Yeah. And there were a lot of shoulds in it. And I thought, oh my gosh, I don't really think that this is the type of energy we want to put out to the community. It's another nonprofit that I work with, to have all these shoulds. And so I looked up I mean, I've always been told that, you're shoulding on yourself, and it's not really helpful to do that to yourself. And so I looked up the definition of should and could, because when I've heard should, I always replace it with could. And so anyway, so what I learned, because I'd never really looked it up before, is that I find, well, this is what I said to the people that had written this report. I find that most shoulds can be changed to could, and that should is used when we're giving orders, and could is used to make suggestions or offers. And I thought, wow, that's a great way to be. And so I just wanted to bring that to this group, because it's a definition I hadn't really thought of before, that shoulds are like being directive and telling people what they should be doing. And could is so much more pleasant, I guess, and fun, right?
And fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And what I love about what you were sharing too, Amanda, is that you made a choice to really find the fun in what you were doing versus staying in the doldrums or the funky town. And so, yeah, I really like that, because I too believe that fun is a choice. I think it was like, I don't know, 5 or 7 years ago, I was doing a lot of leadership training at our company, and I decided, shit, I don't have much fun in my life. And so I went out and I bought all these fun games, and every leadership class that we had at the company, it was with the up and coming managers and the managers. We played a game before we started our class. It was so much fun. That one where you put the card on and everybody knows what your thing is, but you have to ask questions to try. Yeah, that was so much fun. We did Tenzi. If you've never played Tenzi, Tenzi, it's a dice game. It's tons of fun. And a word around. It's a word game where you make words out of the 6 letters. Everybody's trying to make words as fast as they can. And oh God, there's so many fun games. I just went out looking for fun games to play, and I took it to family reunions, all these games, and we had so much fun. And then I stopped. I don't know. Life got hard again. It's so crazy how I can have fun and then I just stop myself. But I'm back and having fun. We just had a meeting at the company a couple of weeks ago too, and the leader of the meeting said, "So what can we do differently?" And I said, "We can have a game." So we're having a game before the next quarter, and so that's so. So the way I find fun too, being out in nature, like you were saying, Amanda. I am a beekeeper, and so it's not always fun to work with my bees, but I'm getting more used to them, and it will eventually be very fun. It's fulfilling, but sometimes I go, I like to rush things, and bees don't like to be rushed. And so I like gardening too, and just sitting out next to the creek. We have a seasonal creek that runs through our property, and it's so beautiful now. It's still running. We're so grateful and thankful that we had all the rain we did this winter in California. And bike rides. I mean, it's a lot of physical movement that I find is fun. And I too like to watch TV. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and Ted Lasso. Those are some of my favorites.
I haven't watched the new season yet. I just saw it out. It is a good show. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where and then just being around with family and friends and getting together and breaking bread together. That's always a lot of fun. Yeah. So what do you do, Melissa?
Before we move on, Penny, let me ask you a question, right? Since we're talking about fun, how did the rest of if you started off with a game in your meeting, how did that change your meeting? The
biggest change that I saw is that people got to work together. A lot of them were, I did team building games where they had to work together as a team to solve an issue or a problem or whatever. And so that helped them to build camaraderie and to get to know each other a little bit more. One of my favorite games is 2 Truths and a Lie. Have you guys ever played that one?
No.
Oh my gosh. So you give everybody a card, you write down 2 truths about yourself that you don't think anybody knows, and 1 lie. So like your lie could be, I'm one of 9 children when I'm really only one of 7.
Mhm.
Or I've traveled to New Zealand when really you've only went to Australia, or something like that. So, or the lie could be like, I'm the oldest in my family when really you're the youngest, something like that. It's really fun. So then you read them, you put them in a bag, and then you pull them out and you say, okay, this person has brown hair, brown eyes, and is the 9th child of 13. And then you go, okay, so first of all, you try to figure out who it is. And then you try to figure out what's the lie. And it's really a fun game. It's a crowd pleaser. Yeah. So it just builds, it gets the energy. You know, we talked about in previous podcasts about the map of consciousness. It gets you out of those lower conscious or those lower vibrational levels up into the more fun vibrational levels. And so, yeah, that's what it did for me. I think everybody had just had more fun learning new material, especially if we were talking about conflict or or building trust or styles of communication and how to flex to other people's styles. I mean, it was some heavy topics to help you be a better person. And yeah, so that's what it did. Thank you for the question, Amanda. I'll stop talking now.
It's just so much fun to talk about fun.
It is.
Sorry, Melissa, I didn't mean to interrupt your go.
It's fun listening to that. So good. So good. Fun. I have a lot of fun. I feel like every day I have a lot of fun. I love hanging out with my friends. We laugh those laughs where you can't like take a breath, because we've known each other for a long time, and we just kind of razz each other and love on each other, and just it's a really good time. And this weekend I went to 3 graduation parties, and they were fun. I love seeing people I haven't seen in a while. I love seeing all the kids growing up, and like there was a girl that was wearing a dress so tiny. I asked her mom if I could borrow it as a tank top, because it like barely covered her butt and it was so tiny. Just those kind of things. Like I just find things like that just funny. And let's see, I love to swim. I love to be outside. I love to watch my dog run like at me, like she's going to take me down, and then she sidewinds. And yeah, I have a lot of fun in my life. I love games. I don't have a lot of people who want to play them with me here, but some of my friends do. I have a dirty secret as well, Amanda. And
is it around gardening? I hope.
I hate gardening. That's my secret. I hate it. I'm like, I had a really big house with big property a while ago, and I planted all these evergreen trees. So I never had to do anything to them again. So I put bark dust or mulch down once a year, and that was it. And I just so do not enjoy it. So I like knowing those things about myself. I also am not I'm not a great cook because I don't enjoy it. And I really realized, because I felt really bad as a mom, like not cooking a lot for my kids, or not having a big repertoire of great dishes or anything, because I didn't enjoy it. And I finally just decided my creativity is somewhere else. I love design. I love business. I love putting ideas together. Food is not my thing. So, but I do have fun eating. I sure like eating. I love candy. I love real candy. Not chocolate. I love real, like Twizzlers, Swedish fish, gummies, all. That's a lot of fun. So yeah, I grew up in a kind of a serious house. And I just, I was the comedian. I was the one who brought the lightness. I, it was kind of my job to make people laugh. And it went from a job to like something I really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I just love it. I love to see my friends laugh. I love to see other people laugh. Yeah, and that's my fun. And what brings me peace is also being aware of myself, like knowing I don't like to cook.
Mm-hmm.
And like knowing I can use my creativity somewhere else. And I meditate a lot, and that brings me peace. It just really brings me peace, not to just to relax in my soul and not have to do something. So, and it also fills me up. Love that part. And I love animals. I grew up on a farm. I love all kinds of animals. So that also fills me up.
I did not realize you grew up on a farm, Melissa.
Yeah, in Oregon.
So cool.
Yeah, and then half my childhood farm and half the childhood in the city. But yeah, yep. My dad's still a farmer.
So you're both the country mouse and the city mouse.
I'm a little bit country and I'm a little bit rock and roll, Morgan.
I love what you were saying too, Melissa, because part of it is like, this is a spiritual podcast. We talk about spiritual stuff and knowing what is fun, and also like not doing like cooking, right? It's like expected. You're putting expectations on yourself. If I'm shoulding on yourself, I should be making dinner. I should be blah blah blah. But really, no. And isn't it fun just to say no? Like I don't enjoy doing it.
Yeah. Imagine the time I would have spent in the kitchen, hating what I was doing, away from my kids, away from my swimming pool, away from walking my dog, away from all that fun stuff, because I thought I should be in the kitchen cooking.
Mm-hmm.
It was a real freedom for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we make jokes about it. And it's kind of fun to make jokes about it. Because I make a really mean burrito in the microwave. Really great cheesy nachos in the microwave. So, yeah. But really, like if I had spent a lot of time doing the stuff I disliked, I just wouldn't have had all the time. I had great times with my kids as they were growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're really skinny though. No.
Oh man.
They're malnourished.
That's funny.
That is funny.
Gosh, you talking about your kids. It reminded me how much I love to swing. I love to go any playground I pass. If there's a swing, I stop and I swing. That is fun for me.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Parades. Gotta love a parade. I do.
I love a parade.
I love a parade. And where I live, there's a little town called Madrid, which is like a little artsy community in one road town. And I guess it's my community too, will have a parade for anything. And I love it. And there's like, it's a row. It's called the Turquoise Trail. It's Highway 14.
Yeah.
It goes through Madrid. And if you like just happen to be trying to get somewhere, you have to wait till the parade is over. So like after the parade is done, you see all these cars backed up.
Oh yeah.
The parade to get done. It is hilarious.
What was the most recent parade?
The most recent parade was like a 50-year anniversary of something, who knows? And it was like two cars with this one was this old lady was in a truck, and literally she was like had her oxygen, her bathrobe, and like her kids were running around and they were throwing candy, and that was the parade, and it was great.
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
We're dying to hear what you have to say, Morgan.
Okay, where do I find my fun? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh yeah, I love hearing what all of you have shared. I find my fun in going with the flow and allowing myself to not be so regimented, because I have this tendency to get caught up in like routines,
Mm-hmm.
and then to feel like something's amiss if I'm not doing my routine every day. But then as I'm, like you were saying, Melissa, learning about yourself, that I don't like to cook. I don't want to spend my time doing that. If I can like soften that regimentation a little bit and allow myself to feel into what I feel like doing each day, then I find that my days feel more fun, if that makes sense. So, like, I always like to start my morning with a spiritual practice or a quiet time. And used to, it was always the same around the same time, around the same length of time, kind of the same format and structure. But now I let my morning quiet time shift and change each day. Sometimes it might be shorter if my husband wakes up early and wants to go do something together, or sometimes it might be longer, or sometimes it might be a walk in nature instead of sitting and doing a 20-minute meditation. Or so just letting myself off the hook of sticking to a program, um, is it like opens me up to having more fun. And I believe I did the Tina Spalding 40 Days and 40 Nights with Jesus thing a few years ago. And I think it was in that where they talked about, like, when you get the impulse to go for a walk, for example, that is inspiration or like divine guidance. And then when all the excuses come rushing in as to why not, like, oh, I'm not dressed yet. Oh, it's kind of drizzly out. Oh, it's too hot, or whatever the different excuses are, that is the ego. But if you actually do whatever the inspiration is, then you're inviting more of that inspiration. And like our nature, our spiritual nature delights in spontaneity and in fun and in surprises. And so like we want to invite more of that. So like just allowing myself to say yes to more of those ideas, and to look at like what the resistance is when it comes up, and then decide like, okay, do I want to do this even though I have this resistance showing up that I don't want to? I don't know, I'm getting off on a tangent, I'm tangenting. But
It's okay.
It is okay, because this, it's the next question was like, how is fun a spiritual practice, right? Like that's,
Yeah.
not just because it's fun, but so it's the perfect bridge, Morgan, what you're talking about. So tangent away.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. Yeah, so like last weekend, I did go down to the beach for my spiritual like quiet time that morning, and instead of like a 30-minute quiet time on the couch, I had like a 3-hour like spiritual walk in nature all by myself, taking bazillions of photos and videos. And like I feel so much more connected to God and to spirit when I am in nature, and when I am like, especially when I have no distractions. Like I didn't have the dogs with me, I didn't have John Mark with me. It was just me in nature. And I get like so many, like, I know people like to call it divine downloads, but I'll just say inspirations, like all these thoughts that definitely feel like they're from my higher self, come through when I'm in that space. So that is really fun to me. And then also like with my calendar and my like daily to-do list, I have a list of things that I would like to do in a given day, or, different goals, daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals, life goals, etc. So they're always on my radar, but I'm learning to just feel into, like, what do I feel like doing in this moment? And so just putting it down on paper and handing it over, putting spirit in charge of my to-do list, and trusting that I'll get to those items if they need to be gotten to at the perfect time, and not forcing it. Like, sometimes I look at my to-do list and there's 20 things on there, and all I feel like doing is sitting on the porch with a cup of hot tea and hanging out with my pets. And I let myself do that for the most part, not always. Sometimes I still kind of force myself, but I'm trying to break that habit. So, it's very similar to what you were talking about, Melissa. So just allowing myself to feel into what I feel like doing. And that leads to more fun throughout my day.
I have an observation.
Okay.
Sounds like you're really staying present, and you're staying in the now. And then, like, when you're in the now, you're just like, okay, at this moment, what is right for me?
Yes, that is the practice. And that's what I'm trying to do. I will say that all of the conditioning, the Western programming and mindset still comes flooding in with the shoulds.
Sure.
So, I certainly haven't mastered it, but that is what I'm going for. So thank you for acknowledging that.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it too. Like, fun stuff is a now thing, right?
Right.
It's not a past or a future. I mean, you can reflect on fun things in the past, like we're doing here, reflecting on fun, but it is a present. It is a staying present thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll just add, I love games too, Penny, so much. John Mark is not a big games person, but he will play dominoes, Scrabble, or Yahtzee with me usually. And when we went home to the United States, the past 2 times that we've been back to visit my family, he has participated in the big family, like, code names and different board games that we'll play as a family. And he's had fun with it, I think. So, and we all played a fun basketball game called 21 when we were there. And that was super fun. I like doing active things. Like, to me, I do kind of miss, like, team sports. Not that I ever did any of it seriously, but it is fun to me to, like, my whole family used to be on a church softball team together.
You do team yoga.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't enjoy practicing yoga on my own. I only enjoy doing it in that group setting.
Isn't that good to know about yourself? I think as we go through life, we discover things, what keeps us present, what's fun.
Yeah.
When I went riding on Sunday and just really enjoyed it because I was present. And then there was a community plant cell fundraiser, and I went there, and my favorite little chocolate shop, this is all in the town of Madrid, and it was really busy, and I was just sitting there, and one of the owners is like, "You look so good today." I mean, and I just was riding and sweaty, and I had on my pants, and I think, I mean, of course I was like, "Thank you." She's like, "You look so peaceful." And I think it's just because I was so present and so at peace, it radiated out. It certainly didn't have to do with what I was wearing, because, I think I looked like a train wreck, really, but I was exuding peace and calm.
She wasn't looking at what you were wearing, Amanda. She was just looking at your energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we are doing what fills us up, we do become, like, magnetic and radiant. So
yeah, radiant. I think that's the word. You were probably radiating beauty. Yeah. You couldn't stop yourself from it.
Yeah. I was just at peace, just sitting there. I was content with life, that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No grabbing, no
Mm-hmm.
reaching, no pushing, just content. I love
Yeah.
that.
Present. It was
Mhm.
a present, just being present. So
Mm.
what about fun and work? And Penny, I'm glad that you brought that up in the beginning, work and fun. Y- And Morgan, you were talking about like Western like things. Like there's a big belief in the world that like there's work and then there's fun, right? They should be two separate things.
Well, when I was growing up on a farm, I grew up on a farm too. I mean, we had a shitload of work we had to do before we could even think about going into town and having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did it as fast as we could because we knew we couldn't go until we had our work done. So I think that's what the way I was raised is that you had to work hard in order to earn the fun. But I am not believing that anymore. I do not believe that. It's a false belief.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I bet your workplace is a lot of fun, Penny.
I think it is. I mean, everybody gets along pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
My last like workplace was super fun. I was very fortunate to have a job that was like creatively fulfilling and like awesome team of people to work with who were super fun and like changing responsibilities from day to day. So I didn't get like bored or in a rut. So it didn't feel like that mutually exclusive, like work over here, fun over here. Like it did feel fun most of the time. Obviously, things come up, interpersonal dynamics come into play, and there's good days and bad days. But for the most part, it was a fun job.
And you said the word lucky. Do you think you were lucky, or do you think that it was like part of were you in a spiritual practice? Like, did you become those things and then attract that to you? Or did you get in it and then recognize it and change it to make it? So like,
I
talk
think
about
it was
that.
a combination of all of the above because there was definitely probably for the first half of my time there, I was with that company for 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first half of my time there, it was before I really discovered A Course in Miracles. And I was very victim-y and very complaining and negative and complaining to coworkers about the ways that I had been slighted by this person or was, this, that, and the other. As I shifted my focus from doing this work and really made a concerted effort to stop complaining dead in its tracks and to focus on what I was grateful for, things started to shift. And I'm sure it was really mostly a mindset thing more than it was a circumstantial thing, because I still I heard lots of complaints still from others. So, like the same kinds of mistreatments and perceived mistreatments or perceived inconsistencies or whatever were still being complained about by others. That wasn't where my focus was anymore.
You changed the way you looked at things, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's, a key point, right? That should spend another minute or two on it. You were in the same job, were the same basic responsibilities, and you changed what you were doing, and then your job became fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. And there were always fun components of it, even before the shift, but it became more joyful, more like everyday fun. Like, it was more consistently fun because I was putting my attention on the good stuff instead of on the the less good stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a fun little thing for us to do right here, right now.
Oh, right. Yay.
Unfortunately, if you are not on watching us in what is it, YouTube is where we are at, where we have our video. I have this game called Spot It. It's really fun, and I'm going to show you 2 cards, and there is one item on these 2 cards that is the same, and the person who can find them first is the winner. Okay, so what is the item on these 2 cards that is the same? Oh my gosh, you're fast.
Visual.
You see it? Snowflake?
Yeah, snowflake. I got it. Let's go. Next one.
Okay. I got another one here. I can do another one. Here you go.
Four-leaf clover.
Oh, nice.
Oh, 4-leaf clover. Okay, here's
one
another
more.
one.
One more.
Cheese.
Nice.
Cheese. Yeah, good job, Morgan. Anyway, for those of you who are just listening, it's called Spot It. It's a great game. And there's 2, 4, 6, 8 little characters on each card. And there's always one on the card that's the same on each card. It's really a fun game. Anyway, that's one of the ways we brought a lot of fun.
That just brought out the competition, didn't it?
Yeah, that too.
And that's fun. Stop that. That was fun. I was like, oh God, I gotta beat Amanda.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So tell
we can
us
just
about fun in your workplace.
Well, my boss is wonderful.
Is you.
I heard she is. Yeah.
She's a lot of fun. We laugh together.
But she does not, don't have her bring the hors d'oeuvres though, right?
No. Nope. Yeah, I actually, because I work for myself and I work alone in my office, in my home office, I think I make a lot of fun for myself outside of work because it is pretty lot of brain time. And I usually am totally done with my day by like 4 or 5. And then I'm done. And I go do things with other people or do things I enjoy or do things that just relax me at that point. Yeah. But it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
It can be not fun a lot of the time.
What do you do when it starts to feel overwhelming and not fun?
I usually get on a call like this and ask for a grounding prayer, like I did earlier today. Yeah, I take breaks. I take breaks and I give myself a break.
Move your body, all those good things. Yeah. 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 It's interesting how I can get so single-minded too and just stay working for all of a sudden it's like 3 hours later and I've been sitting working on my computer. Yeah. It's like, wow. Yeah. But sometimes it's fun to do that too. Depends on what I'm working on.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that balance right now because everything that I am doing just about is on the computer, and I don't want to be on my computer all day, every day. But like the spiritual counseling certification program requires that I'm on the computer. All of the different groups that I co-facilitate require that I be on the computer. The little bit of work that I do for the Power of Love Ministry requires that I be on the computer. And then also like trying to develop whatever kind of business or offering I'm going to have apart from all of that requires that I be on the computer. And so I feel some resistance around that. And like, I'm working out how to find balance in that. Yeah. Melissa, you're at the computer all day, every day, aren't you?
Yes. And I love it.
Yeah.
Like it's also the way I can reach out to people and be with people.
Yeah.
So that's what I was going to ask you is do you just think it's not fun for you or?
It's not that it's not fun for me. I just, I don't like sitting still in one place hour after hour after hour. Like I like to segment my day, like break it up, like, you know, like a few hours of, like not a few hours, hour of yoga in the morning, an hour or two on the computer, an hour of laundry and preparing lunch, an hour or two on the computer. But then you don't get as much done when you break it up like that either. So I'm just figuring it out, or just trying to figure it out.
You can if you want to. I think you can get done what you want and have breaks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's speaking of computer time, work time, part of mine is just like so resistant to doing anything related to work. Like I've just been so resistant to it. And something that I was like dreading doing, once I actually sat down and did it, it took maybe 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Like I spent probably weeks in my mind just dreading it. And I like, what is that all about? That's for another episode.
Yeah.
Procrastination
for months and months and months and months, that when I finally do them and they only take like 15 or 20 minutes, I'm like, what the heck is wrong with me?
Yeah.
We'll have to do an episode on eating the frog. Okay. We'll talk about that next time. Eat that frog.
Ooh, mystery. So let's end on that note. Unless anybody else has some closing thoughts. Yeah. Penny,
Well, I just have a couple of Post-its.
Yes, I was going to say Post-it. Penny.
So fun is in the flow.
Yes,
right?
it
That's what we
is.
talked
Yeah.
about. And maybe this can be our episode name. And now for fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mhm.
Because we
Awesome.
were talking about being in the present and being in the now.
Yeah.
That's when the fun flows.
It is in the flow.
Oh.
All right, Morgan, take us away.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We love you. Please check us out on our website, 5lemonslaughing.com. I've also added a resources page there that has lots of the different books and programs and different things that we've referenced throughout the episodes over the past few months. Follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. Leave us a review, all the different things. We love to have some interaction from whoever's listening. And tell your friends, tell your family. We love you. Goodbye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Have a great week, everyone.